Find all answers for theta between 0 and 2 pi. Cosecant equals 2. So you go to your trig graph and see where cosecant equals 2, and it equals 2 at pi over 6. But you have to find all answers. So you do your all seniors take calculus, and cosecant is positive in the second and first quadrant because everything's positive in the first quadrant. So you have pi over 6 in the first quadrant and 5 pi over 6 in the second quadrant. So those are your answers because they're both positive. Find the trig value. Your problem is y equals cosecant 2 theta if theta equals pi over 6. So you plug in your theta right here. So y equals cosecant 2 pi over 6. This always has to be reduced, so you reduce 2 pi over 6 to pi over 3. So you have cosecant equals pi over 3, and you find cosecant of pi over 3 in your trig graph, and cosecant equals 2 square root of 3 over 3. Find the value of the trig function indicated. Find secant if cosine equals 3 over 5. So secant is adjacent over hypotenuse, and cosecant is the opposite of secant, hypotenuse over adjacent. So all you have to do is flip cosine, and you will get 5 over 3, which is secant. In each triangle ABC, angle C is a right angle. Find the value of the trig function indicated. Find secant A if C equals 10 and B equals 6. Secant equals hypotenuse over adjacent. So your hypotenuse is 10 and adjacent is 6. So you plug that into your secant, hypotenuse over adjacent. So you have 10 as your numerator and 6 as your denominator, and that reduces to 5 over 3. So secant equals 5 over 3. Find the value of the trig function indicated. So we're finding sine of this triangle. Your opposite is 3 because it's opposite of the angle indicated, and your hypotenuse is 5. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So you take your opposite, and it's on top, so you have 3, and then your hypotenuse is on the bottom, so it's 5, and sine equals 3 over 5. Find the exact value of the trigonometric function. Your problem is tangent 13 pi over 4, so you take tangent pi over 4 because pi over 4 is in your trig graph. Tangent of pi over 4 equals 1. Then to find whether your 1 is going to be positive or negative, you use your all seniors take calculus graph. And tangent is positive where your 13 over pi over 4 is in your graph. So your 1 is going to be positive. So tangent of 13 pi over 4 equals positive 1. You're given your vertex of 1, 2, and your y-intercept of negative 1. So step 1 is to plug in your vertex to your parabola equation, which is y equals a x minus h plus k. So you plug in your 1 here, and you keep the negative because it's negative in your equation. So it's y equals a x minus 1 squared plus 2, which is the y of your vertex. In step 2, you plug in your y-intercept for y, and whenever you're given your y-intercept, your x is 0. So you have negative 1 equals a, 0 minus 1 squared plus 2. Then you multiply across, and you get negative 1 equals 1a plus 2. You subtract 2 and move it to the other side. So you have negative 3 equals 1a. You multiply that, or you divide that out, and your a is negative 3. Then you have to plug it back into your parabola equation. So you have y equals negative 3 x minus 1 squared plus 2, and you're done. This is your circle graph. Your circle equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So your center is 4, negative 3, and you can see that on the graph. And your radius is 5, and you get that by counting out each point from the center. And each way it goes out 5, so you know your radius is 5. Then you plug in your x and your y into the circle equation where the h and the k are. So your x is 4, so you just plug that in where the h is. And then your y is negative 3, and you have negative, negative, so that becomes plus 3. Then your radius is 5, and you just square that, and you have 25. So your equation is x minus 4 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 25. This is difference of squares factoring second type. Your problem is 4x squared minus 9. Because you have a negative sign here, in your parentheses it's going to be minus plus. So you take the square root of 4x squared and you take the square root of 9. So then you have 2x, 2x, and your square root of 9 is 3 and 3. Then you see if you can factor this any further, and you can't, so you're done. This is your problem 4x squared minus 10x. First, you see what number you can divide by 4 and by 10, and that's 2x. So you divide each number by 2, and then you have 2x minus 5. Then you see if you can factor this problem any further, and you can't, so you're done.